And
good evening and welcome to AGK Media. I'm Shelley Carney, and it's Friday Fenndango.
I don't know why I missed that part. And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us tonight. We've got some emails to read. We've got some text messages. We've got some voicemails. And then later on, we'll open up the phone lines and see what you guys have to say about life. And we did get a little feedback from William, our writer for Society Magazine, and Alina, our photographer, is here tonight.
What's her name?
Adria. Missed that. I don't know why I called her Alina.
It's better than Alexa.
So she's going to be walking around taking pictures if you see in the background. She's very good. Hey, Miss Shelley, how are you doing tonight?
I'm super. How are you?
I'm super as well. We've had a good day, haven't we?
Yeah, busy.
'Cause girls like you round other guys like me to sundown when I come through. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah. Girls like you love and get me too. What I want when I come through. I need a girl like you, yeah, yeah.
My stool always swivels too much when I do that.
When you're swinging? Yeah. When you're swinging on your stool. So,
Housekeeping, you want towel?
I know you want towels, so we're going to do some housekeeping right now. Please, before you leave tonight, take a moment to like this video because YouTube likes it when you like our videos. Actually, YouTube likes it when you unlike our videos because we get engagement points or dislikes.
Just re-like and re-like. Just keep pushing that button.
Tell your friends about it. That's like voting. Do it as many times as you want.
And then make sure you subscribe, right?
Well, can I finish my other part?
Oh, okay.
Share it with your family, friends, neighbors, business associates, and social networks so that we can
grow
our channel, because that's what we want to do. And then finally, if you're not already a subscriber, this would be an ideal time to subscribe. Click on that subscribe button, and when the notification bell pops up, click on the notification bell. And that way, whenever we announce a live stream or whenever we start a live stream, you will be immediately informed and in the know.
In the know. Who doesn't want to be in the know?
Who doesn't want to be in the know?
Right.
So, you know what I need right now?
What do you need?
Guess what?
Oh.
I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
There's your cowbell.
Thank you. I need to get you a drumstick for that cowbell. Okay, where do you want to start? You want to start in the room, or do you want to start?
Let's do the emails.
You want to do emails first? You want to go first? You want
yeah,
me to
because look, we only have 101
in the room.
I'm sure
so
we'll get another 100.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So yeah.
So this is our what?
Emails.
Emails. Wait, I'm playing emails. I am playing emails.
There you go.
So,
all right.
Love that emails.
Who has the first one?
Go ahead. You go first.
You want me? All right. This one is from Don Stapleton. He's forwarding Forrest Fenn treasure email to us.
From whom?
Reply to Don. I don't know. Anyway,
Why
this
is
is what
forward?
it is.
Did he write it?
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
Can't analyze everything.
Yeah, good point.
And he says, "Hi, Shelley. Hi. I have a question maybe you and Toby can explain. I've been wondering for years. As we all know, Fenn said you just need a poem, probably meaning the poem, and a good map to find the treasure. So with just those two, then why aren't people actually looking for, within the poem, the Rocky Mountains and state? It wasn't until later that Fenn said north of New Mexico, 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe, and the states New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana. Shouldn't those be hidden within the poem first as the real starting point? Everyone only looks at begin where warm waters halt. Please write me back or discuss on YouTube if you can. For me, curious what others think." Okay, now this is a little... Wait a minute, what is all this?
Oh, that's the part he wants us to keep to ourselves. Ourselves. Selves.
Selves.
Okay, you want to address that question?
I think you're right. And all we know is Fenn said that the first clue is begin at where warm waters halt, and that it is at least 8.25 miles north of Santa Fe in the Rocky Mountains. Those are only the only definitives he's given us as to where to locate the treasure. Other than that, he said use the poem. So why is that all not within the poem, right? Good question.
So there is no indication, nothing credible in the poem that would indicate in which state you would find where warm waters halt. The challenge for us, has always been that in the book he writes that he hid the treasure in the mountains north of Santa Fe. The Rocky Mountains didn't enter into the picture until 2013 with a publication of Too Far to Walk. And the map that was put in there by Benchmark Maps, which is the first time that Fenn had ever watched our video. It's entitled Forrest Fenn Discovered the Rocky Mountains in 2013. Prior to that, there was no mention of the Rocky Mountains. He has still never said, there is no phrasing Fenn has ever used in which he has said that the treasure is in one of 4 states, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. He says it's in the Rocky Mountains. We have to make the assumption he's talking about the Rocky Mountains that is on the map in Too Far to Walk. And when he holds up the map at the Moby Dickens, he says, if you know where the treasure is, you'll find it on this map. Well, of course, New Mexico is down at the bottom of the map. So we think that was something that was added after 2013 to improve the branding and marketing of the treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
we have a whole video on that
Yep.
called Forrest Fenn Discovered the Rockies in 2013.
Right.
Basically, we talk about how once the Margie Goldsmith article got out and the Today Show was out and there were so many people looking, it kind of grew from there.
Expanded.
Sort of like a tall tale grows. So the search area grew as well.
We call it the 12 Monkeys effect. If you put an article in the Hemispheres magazine on United Airlines, it's going to grow like a virus, as in the 12 Monkeys. Have you ever seen that movie with Bruce Willis? Same thing.
Any virus.
Mitzi is talking about undressing wrestlers who are wearing spandex. Mitzi,
Let's just try to stay to topic.
Stay
Because
on
you
topic.
people wanted Fenn. We're
Right.
doing Fenn. We're talking Fenn.
and if you want to make sure that we see your comment, there's 2 ways to do that. Number 1, when you put your comment into the chat room, make sure you precede your comment with @AGK space media. And it'll highlight it in orange, so we'll make sure that we see it in the chat. The other way, of course, is to send a text message to 866-597-9901. That's 866-597-9901. So here's our second email of the night. It's entitled HOB referring to brown trout. I've created a monster in that whole brown trout thing. Toby, in your YouTube video with Sherry.
Last week.
Oh, it's Sherry.
Yeah.
Sassy Sherry,
Yes.
not you. Not a misspelling of Shelley.
No.
Okay. Toby, in your YouTube video with Sherry on 4/12/19, she mentioned that Forrest had said to a searcher the home of brown did not refer to brown trout. An individual in the chat session also asked about the validity of this. I have not read anywhere where Forrest made this remark. Even in Chasing Words of Forrest Fenn, there is no mention either, although this document is not inclusive of all that Forrest Fenn has said. Question, do you have any reference to this remark by Forrest? Have you heard it before? I have not, Ron. Brown. How convenient his last name is Brown.
Interesting.
So, no, Ron, I had never heard that. It was as much a surprise to me as it was to you. I've never heard Fenn say that. He's never given any kind of indication as to what Brown refers to. That's the big, that's the big cue in
All we
all
know
of
is
this.
he told that group of school children that when they asked him, were you thinking about fishing when you wrote the poem? And he said, no, I was thinking about the poem when I wrote the poem. So...
To which one of the children replied, okay, Mr. Smarty Pants. Your turn.
All right, we have one from Frank Rousseau called Treasure Hunt. Hi, Toby and Shelley. You have probably answered this question many times, but wondering if Forrest has definitely commented on whether the treasure is located on private or public land. Tribal land, I feel, would be ruled out, but not sure if land ownership was a predeterminant for him when he hid the treasure. Thanks for any help you can provide. Frank in Phoenix. Frank, he's never definitively said what type of land it is on. He's made some allusions.
Some obtuse references.
Inferences.
Yeah. about
that there
public
would
land.
not probably be any legal problems for the finder, indicating that it was probably not going to be found on private land. However, after talking to Sassy Sherry about the Blaine treasure and how it was found on private land, and that it was a deal made between David Blaine and his friend Reuben, somebody?
Don't ask me.
Reuben?
Last name was Rubens.
Mr. Rubens. That was a deal they had made so that when the finder of the treasure found the Blaine treasure, it was given over to her by agreement of the owner of the land. So, we don't know.
I was just checking Gmail because we got two of them. One of them is from Michael Hull.
Okay.
We don't have to read it now, but he says he's on his way back to New Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So he
yeah,
can
he
tell
did
us more
say
in the
he
chat
wanted
room.
to try to come back in April or May.
Oh, is it? Well, good. That's a
Yeah.
good time. Did he say he was bringing Helena with him?
I think he said he was bringing his boys, but not
Oh,
his wife.
interesting.
I'm not sure.
So the only thing I had to add to that
Mm-hmm.
is that Shelley's correct. He's never specifically said that it was on public versus private versus tribal land. He has obtuse references that imply that it's on some form of public land, and the options in public land include the BLM land, national forest land, some state forests, and technically national park lands, and there's 20 to 21 different types of national park land. So it is possible that it is on national park administered property, but we believe that it's going to be tremendously more difficult to take ownership of it. You're going to have to deal with them. While if it's on national forest lands, they don't care. Yeah, it's walk away with it. And the same is true of BLM lands. You don't have the same problems that you would on national park lands. I think there's a very low probability it's on tribal lands. I just can't imagine Fenn would do something like that. And I think there's a very low probability that it's on private lands because Fenn would completely understand what the ownership problems with putting it on private land would be. My turn?
Your turn. It's always your turn. Go
Uh-huh.
ahead.
No, it's my turn to read.
Yes, read.
Okay, all right, okay. So this one is entitled 4:19 at 1 p.m. What significance is that?
That's today's show.
Oh, okay, all right.
Earlier.
Toby, this is the G-Man in Indiana, the person that I thought was George, but is not, so I apologize for that. So this is the G-Man in Indiana addressing the question of the day. Addressing the question of the day, which is the one we had this afternoon. The poem is perfect for Forrest's purposes. None which is to... let me read this. Addressing the question of the day, the poem is perfect for Fenn's purposes. None which is to get people out in the wild. Oh, interesting premise.
Okay.
Because we thought that's what it was all about,
Well,
right?
that's what he said.
The primary purpose of the entire exercise was/is a way for a dying man to attain serial immortality and become part of the mysteries of New Mexico. Wow, I like.
Serial immortality.
Yeah, I like the way you write. I don't care whether it's true or not. It's great writing. All of the ambiguity is intentional with just enough facts to seem reasonable to keep people interested. I believe the box is out there and that Fenn is betting that the find will happen closer to 1,000 years than tomorrow, assuming that we even exist, that we haven't blown ourselves to smithereens between now and then. Or we haven't been struck by an asteroid, which is very possible, by the way. Perhaps the best way to...
cheery.
I'm not going to be around anyway. Mm-hmm. Perhaps the best way to figure out the poem is to get Ben Gates on the search. If he can find Charlotte buried in the ice in the Arctic, he can find where warm waters halt. While watching your 1 p.m. show today, it struck me that there are a lot of Forrest Gump's relatives involved in the search. Ouch.
I'm not sure what that means.
I know what the... it's not a very...
Sally Field was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. That's good. So Ben Gates, for those of you that aren't familiar, is the character played by Nicolas Cage in the
And the woman played Jenny, right?
Robin.
She plays Claire on.
Yeah.
Yeah. On
Oh,
House of
is that
Cards.
Claire?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No.
Man, did she
Princess
evolve?
Bride.
She's president now, right, in the House of Cards?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Princess Bride?
Princess Bride.
Robin
Wright.
Robin Wright. There we go. Okay.
Used to be Robin Wright Penn. But
But she was married to Sean Penn.
She was married to Sean Penn for a while.
That's an interesting marriage there.
Yeah. She's an interesting person.
Okay.
Oh, and I really liked her in Wonder Woman. She played Antiope?
Oh, she didn't
She
play
was
Wonder
like the
Woman.
general.
Oh, okay.
She was her aunt. She was cool.
You just saw that. You have the advantage of having just seen that. I haven't seen it. I saw
Yeah.
it 6 months ago,
Oh, I know.
so I don't remember any
It
of
was
the
on
characters.
HBO.
Okay, what do you want to do now? Wait, are you doing okay? I'm talking to Adria.
There you got it.
I got her name right. It took me 5 tries. Okay.
So I guess we could say hello to the people in the room.
You want to say hello to the people in the room?
Hello, or
Wait. Hello, video.
get the cow going.
Get the cow going.
Where's the cowbell?
Help from the other side.
And we are glad you're here.
Yeah, we are very glad you're here.
Toby's staring at a blank screen.
I was watching for the cow again. I thought I was going to get the cow.
No.
Do you want to read from there or from here?
Why don't you read from there and I'll read from here.
All right, you go ahead.
And we'll have to get to the top, so you start.
Hey, Point Blog, nice to see you. Wow, Point Blog was in early and talking away with Michael S. already. Michael S., how are you doing?
Yes, yeah. Just don't fall off the cliff.
Joe
That's good advice.
S. is in.
Don't go around tonight. Well, it's bound to take your life.
There's a bathroom on the right.
Bathroom. Philip Holquist. That's a new name, huh?
Philip?
Philip says, why 10 miles? Philip, we don't know what you're referring to, so let us know.
15 or 20.
Point Blog. Oh, it's something that. Point Blog was discussing it, so they brought it up.
Ah.
Point Blog had an emoji
An emoji explosion.
explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we like emojis.
Chris Jones is in the room. Illinois Ghost. Hi, Rick. How are you doing? Glad you're here.
World famous gamer.
WFG, I got your link. I can't do YouTube, brother. It has to be on karaoke version.com. Find it there, and I can get it from there. I cannot get it from YouTube.
You don't have to buy it. Just have
You don't
to
have to
get
buy
the
it.
link.
Just send me the link.
Yeah.
WFG's in the room. Chris Jones, I've already said. Wayne Ross, you want to go ahead?
Wayne Ross? Wayne Ross?
Wayne Ross.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Hooley? Did you say Hooley?
No, I didn't say
Hooley's
Hooley.
here.
You say Hooley.
Hooley.
Hooley's given up her song.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I like that song.
It was kind of a neat song.
I know.
She gave up her space, basically. It's her cart.
Chris Jones. Grizzly Bear.
Here, come
Fubar, 970.
here so everybody can see who you are.
Dave Hedblom from Wisconsin.
So this is our photographer. Scrunch down just a little bit so people can see it. Isn't she cute? She broke her arms snowboarding. So
Maybe
and
she
she's
doesn't
got-
want the world to know that.
she's got a couple
Because
of
it was when
Canon.
she was 12.
Oh, okay.
She's not 12.
Oh no, they took the plate out. That's what it was. She's got a couple of Canon cameras that are as big as she is, for God's sake. Okay.
She's had a busy
Yeah,
day.
she has.
Good Friday. Traveling around the state.
Okay. You're at
Dave,
where?
Dave Hedblom, I said. Tony Driver. 23 Monarca.
23.
Who needs a new song? Hey, Monarca, what would you like instead of that? Robert Nenig.
One of our, I will
One of our
find the
people
treasure.
on the list.
By,
That's right.
So, by the way, Shelley started a new list today.
We need to play the video.
What video?
The lead searcher video.
Lead searcher video.
All right, so although there can be only one, we don't know who it is because there's no confirmation. So if you think you are the lead searcher and you know exactly where that treasure is and you're going to get it before the end of this summer, please let us know to put you on our list. So far we have Mr. T, Mark Connor, Mitzi Moore, Davio, Steve Wayne, Robert Nenig, Jerry from Texas, and A. Woodhall. If you would like to be added to this list of people who knows where the treasure is and is going to get it before the end of summer, now we have Imagination of Innocence on our list as well.
But
they
he says
said
2020.
2020.
Right? Yeah.
So
if you think you're going to find the treasure this summer, let us know. We'll add your name to the list so that when you do find it, we'll be able to recognize you.
That's right.
as the
Get
finder
you a
of the
little
chest.
cowbell going on.
So just make sure if you're a finder or if you believe that you're going to find it and you want to be added to Shelley's list, make sure you use an @AGK space media so that I can see it. Where you at? Robert Nenning.
Yeah, Robert Nenning. Yellowstoner Evening.
Wow.
Jason
He's a
Dent
new
is
one.
in the room.
Jason Dent. How do you under Jason Dent? Wait,
Yeah,
he's not under Forrest Fenn or Fenn
Treasure
Treasure
Hunters?
Hunters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason.
under his own name.
In his individual
He's no longer incognito.
incognito. Yeah.
Not that we didn't know he was.
Oh,
Anyway.
look, Chris Jones says the same thing. What happened to FTH?
Uh-huh.
Going
you
back,
know,
he's
a lot of people have more than one YouTube channel.
and he responds, going back
Sometimes you're
to old
just-
school.
Sometimes you're just signed in on your other channel. Donna Buckholtz is here. AJ Rainville.
What'd you do with your green T-shirts?
Put them in the closet.
Oh, okay.
This is our secret.
Oh, sorry.
AJ Rainville. Czar 334. I've heard that song Gypsies, Tramps, and See You so much. I'm never going to listen to it again, but I'm going to watch the show. I'm sorry.
All right, we'll find if you can find. So here we go. If you find another song that has the word gypsy or gypsies in it, tell
That
me
isn't
that.
screaming.
Yeah, and that is not that is not made by Purple. What was it called? Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Send it to us, and we'll change it. There was didn't.
We had flamenco, but we lost it somehow.
Yeah, we lost flamenco.
It flew away.
It is gone forever.
It flew away.
It has gone. It has gone bye bye with the
Matt
flamencos.
Bear. We had lots of bears in the room. Grizzly Bear, Matt Bear,
Oh wait, there's Davio.
Davio. All right.
Former head of the FBI, James Casey, is in the room.
Oh, cool. We have David Dow and Lydia D. Jeremy Judge from Michigan. Who else?
Jonah 1777. Can I tell my Jonah story?
Okay.
The one that dates back to Jonah and the whale and how I got my last name. No, I won't tell that story. It's a long story. Okay.
It's off topic. Fubar.
Wait.
Alan K. What?
Daniel Burke, as in Burke. Hello from Prince Edward Island, Canada. How far down am I?
Interesting. I got 23 Skidoo.
23. Skidoo.
You already said Jonah 1777.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
All right. He says, hello, pilgrims. You said Daniel.
Howdy, pilgrims. You know who used to say that?
T?
John Wayne.
Yeah.
Howdy, pilgrims.
Yeah.
That
something
sucks
like
as a John Wayne, but
Yeah, you're not good at
no.
that.
Mm-mm. I could do Tommy Lee Jones, apparently.
If you're quiet about it.
Yeah.
Virginia Man. Hello from New York. Okay,
Virginia.
Larry. Mitzi Moore is here.
Hey, Mitzi.
It's a bassy kind of thing. Joe Treasure Hunter. Hello.
Joe Treasure Hunter. Oh, Joe Treasure Hunter.
Yeah.
I'll give him a chance. He's waiting just to call
Zozo
in.
Rocks.
Zozo. No, another one that gave up their card. Sorry. I'm sorry. I happen to like Zozo. This is not your walk-in song. I just happen to like it, and so does Davio.
Candy D'Amico.
That gets my heart started every time.
If Fenn wrote the book for his friends, Matt Bear says, if Fenn wrote the book for his friends to go search for his treasure, then why would Fenn feed this search? He likes the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he didn't have a sense it was going to get as big as it did until it got big with the publication of Margie Goldsmith's article in Hemispheres magazine. 12 Monkeys. I'm telling you, watch 12 Monkeys. Bruce Gillis. It'll all make sense.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you said Gillis.
Wait, no.
Candy D'Amico, AGK, 10,200 feet is where treasure mine is.
Oh.
Does that
Well,
mean mine treasure, my treasure, or
Mine.
a mine? Because this it's not associated with a mine.
Who is sending us email at this time? Oh, follow-up question. Frank's got a
Frank.
follow-up question. Candy, how's the tie? I always like when I hear from you about my ties. So let me know how my tie is tonight.
I think we look good together, and we kind of got like color scheme going on here.
Yeah, Did you do the black gray thing on purpose? Or was it black tan?
It's actually
Blue.
navy.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Eric Schwitz in the house once again, taking away all his comments as soon as he
Eric,
makes them.
I am going to open up the Restream.io so I can see what you're commenting. And Eric, I want to know what that email this afternoon was all about. You didn't give me anything to work with, brother.
Sakar is here.
Hey, I did that already.
You did Sakar?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You did?
Oh, Sakar doesn't have one.
Tony Driver. Oh, I already said Tony's.
Sakar has his own YouTube channel and he's producing videos. I think he's doing a good job.
Did Finn tell what make, model, vehicle he used to drive and hide it? I don't think so.
You mean back when he hid the treasure? He said he was driving a sedan. That's all we know about it.
Yeah. CMC. Is Finn's scrapbook on any other site besides Dale's?
No, there are a couple of guys that have copied them over and have put them, but the primary source. So you're going to find that Fenn has a very strong relationship with both Dale Neitzel and Jenny Kyle of Mysterious Writings. Those are his, I don't want to say his favorites, but those are the people that he trusts to put up the information that he provides to the community and do it without comment, without criticism, et cetera, et cetera. So it's either going to go on Dale Neitzel's site or it's going to go on Jenny Kyle's site. You will never, it's not going to go on a Gypsy's Kiss, but that's okay. We'll figure it out anyway.
Yeah, we have our own thing going on.
Yeah.
Marty Bird is here.
Marty, hi Marty.
Okay, and I think I'm running out of new names. Oh, ID Russian.
What?
ID Russian. Under James Casey.
James Casey, Hoolies, those are rocks.
Above Craig Carter's highlighted mark.
Okay, let me see. Oh, there, ID Russian.
I don't know who that is.
Dale, he could. No, he's Dale. It's because he's Norwegian or something like that. That's why it is. We've had this conversation before. His name is pronounced Dale Neitzel. And if you don't believe me, go back to the live stream video that I did for the.
Oh, you did an interview with him.
I did an interview with him.
An audio interview. And
Yeah.
You asked him how to say his name.
Well, what happened was Ally McGraw wanted to refer to him, and this is all recorded. Ally McGraw kept asking me, how do I pronounce his name? And I said, it's Dale Neitzel. And she'd say, Dale Neitzel. And later on, I had a conversation with Dale in his interview, and he said he got a big kick out of hearing Ally McGraw say his name several times. So it's Dale Neitzel.
And I know a lot of people don't like to say it that way because it's not spelled that way.
So Craig Carter says, AGK Media, page 23 of Cynthia's book, when I discussed CCC Cabin as being the home of Brown, he immediately said, don't you remember I said, are you leaving us?
Yes.
You're welcome to the housewarming tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
We'll be here till 10.
It's lovely to meet you.
So we're
You too. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody say bye.
say bye, everybody. Adria is going. She's the photographer for Society Magazine, for the article for
She's
Society
a
Magazine.
photojournalist. She
Yeah.
does contract work.
A freelancer. As being the home of Brown, he immediately said, don't you remember I said it can't be associated with any structure? Yes, he did say that.
Brian Heckman in the house. Does anyone think the
you know
cover
what?
of his books can help solve the location of his treasure? Some people do. Right?
There are people that believe there's a stylized map of sorts of the 4 treasure states on the cover if you turn it upside down. Who did that story? Some one of the YouTubers talked about it.
Sheila Draper in the house. Jay Scott. And Dev JB.
Oh, Charles Chapman's in the room. Here you go. Your favorite.
Oh, all right.
Oh, Craig Carter has one too.
It's my life, it's now or never. And I ain't gonna live forever.
Okay. Another good one. All right. Michael S. I don't know if I said your name yet. Mr. T.
Robin Wright. Everybody's doing the same thing. We weren't trying to remember her name.
Yeah. Yeah. Nate Mattis. Jonah 1777. That's possible. Oh, he's replying to somebody. Craig Carter just gave us a cha-ching. 99 cents. Woo!
Hey, ask a question for that, but make it a short one for 99 cents.
I think he was just giving you money for playing that song.
Oh, okay, all right.
Pay you back for that. Okay, I'm at the bottom, so we're ready to move on to
Okay,
text
well, I'm just going to
messages,
go
I
back
think.
and get some questions. I thought I saw a couple of questions. So
Oh.
John Ito says, add me to the list. John,
Oh.
send me a Gmail with pick your song.
No, I think he means he wants to be in the list.
Oh,
of
John Ito, do you have a
lead
month?
searchers.
John Ito, do you have a month that you think?
Oh, we should start doing that too, huh?
Mitzi says,
What month are you going to be bringing it home?
what month are you bringing it home, John?
Toby wants, Nate wants to see your watch.
Oh,
What kind of watch is that?
it's an Invicta. Well, a lot of my watches, I have a collection of about 24 watches, and about half of them are Invictas. Very good watch. I really like it a lot. Thank you for noticing.
End of June, says John Ito. Okay.
Nice. WFG, I couldn't find the Star Wars theme on it. Can you send me a link? I will look for it.
CMC, I think
WFG.
of cracked red, black, green tea. We'll share.
Oh, Hooley says Stevie Nicks. That's what I was trying to remember. Gypsy. That's a good one.
Okay.
I'll get that one, Hooley. I like that a lot. But she says, I like your current
Hey,
song
Michael
better.
Holt's in the room.
Michael, I just saw your messages, your Gmail messages. Michael, they came after we had printed the messages that we were reading tonight, but let me just pick it up there. So Michael says, New Mexico again, this time just me. Oh, no, Helena, no, as it stands now.
Not that that's bad. That's
No.
okay. Just you is fine.
So he's going boots on the ground, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Albuquerque for the first week of May. We look forward to seeing you, Michael. Let us know when you're in town so we can get together for lunch, dinner, or we can't do cocktails because...
We will be around the 4th and 5th, yes.
Okay. So, yeah, let us know.
And what else did I want to... Oh, Michael, I don't know if you heard today, but we're taking names. So if you think you're going to find the treasure and you know exactly where it is, we will put your name on the list.
On the list,
Let us
yeah.
know.
We're making a list of all the people that are going to find... I'm just writing down what Hooley said because I want to get that.
Oh, yes. Well, you wrote down notes last time. Did you ever do anything about them?
No, I
before
haven't,
threw
but we
them
haven't had time.
out? But did
It's
we
been
throw
a
the
busy
notes
couple
out?
of days. No, I still have them right here.
Oh, okay.
So I do have all the notes that I took the other night, but I'm trying to get ready for a housewarming party and 2 shows, etc. So I haven't had a chance to do all of those yet. Or I haven't had a chance, whoever noticed,
Starting
that
Sunday, you should start having more time.
will have a life. Yeah. And the person, I can't remember who it was, that noticed you can't see our photos on our blog. I'll fix that on Sunday as well. So
Yeah.
okay. Wait a minute. Mitzi
But he
said
promised
something
that
that
to 2 people.
Mitzi scared me.
Demo RCR.
Sigh of Shelley. Let's see. Mitzi said...
Man in the Park.
Mitzi says, I have Toby on a different list. What does that mean?
You know what kind of list.
Really?
Starts with an S, ends with a T.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, Mitzi, I know where you're coming from.
J.A. Street wants to be on our list.
Yay.
What month are you going to find that treasure, J.A. Street?
Why did they block Alan's comment here? Alan, I'm unblocking your comment. I don't know why it blocked it. Let's see. Just using the songs from the musical Gypsy. I don't know. That's kind of old-fashioned. James Leo says, has anyone mentioned the resort springs while built by painter Malcolm Brown with the boathouse? It's been discussed a couple of times. James, what you're going to find if you're new to the search is everything has been discussed in one way or the other. Some of them have already made it through the mill and been dismissed and stuff like that. You can, all you have to do is sit in the room and somebody will have had the conversation. Nate Mattis says, I vaguely recall Fenn saying something to the effect of being surprised by the parking area lot being unusually slow when he hid the treasure. Do you recall such a comment? I do not.
Jingo Bingo.
Shakira has Gypsy. Shakira has a Gypsy song. Oh, write that one down. Shakira.
What kind of symbol is on your blue glass pendant? So, Toby, we want to talk to them about this pendant
Okay, hang on, I will.
because
Check
Toby
here.
knows more about it than I did. It was a gift from Toby, in fact.
So this
It's not
is
really it's not a symbol.
this is what it's not a symbol. It's a fused glass pendant, and there was a gentleman. So we have a, I don't know what you call it, flea market kind of thing on Sundays over the summers at the Rail Yards Market, and my daughter Sean has a booth there, so I always go to visit to see what she's doing. And right across from her is this gentleman who sells these fused glass pieces of jewelry,
What do they call it? Diachromatic?
diachromatic glass,
Is
right?
that what it's called?
Yeah. And his wife makes the stuff, but it's always so pretty. I mean, I'm very attracted to the artsiness of it, as well as kind of the process, and because I don't have that kind of talent, and so I always want to
Dichromatic.
get something, but diachromatic, chromatic.
That's what Holy said.
Um,
and then she took it away.
And then she returned.
Why?
And they don't make much of this kind of jewelry for men. As a matter of fact, when I learned how to do it, I actually made myself a pair of cufflinks just so I could say that I had some. I'll wear them next week sometime. But I see these pieces, and they're so just nicely priced, and I really respect the work, that I always buy one so I can give to Shelley, because she's my daughters have enough jewelry to last them a lifetime. I made sure of that. But Shelley is the person that I know I can buy jewelry for, and then she'll be happy to wear. And so I always buy them.
And he gets to look at it all the time
and I
because
get-
I'm wearing it.
And I always get to say, wow, where did that come from? Not remembering that I gave it to her.
Yeah.
So,
Short-term memory. Which is why you really only need to give me one piece of jewelry and be done. Jungle Cruiser in the room, along with Glenna Friedman. She likes Gypsy by Fleetwood Mac.
yeah. I want to hear, Stevie Nicks Fleet. That's what I was trying to remember, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. And Marty Bird says, what is your best guess as to how long Forrest initially thought it would take for someone to find the chest?
No idea. My sense, as the way he described it, I mean, when you think about what he did at the beginning of all this, when he made 1,000 copies of his book, he put them in collected works. I really had a sense that at that point, he was hoping that one of his friends that knew him would buy one of the books, find the treasure, and say, "Oh, Forrest, you funny guy! Look at what you've done," and it would spread throughout Santa Fe. And then, of course, it grew, and we realized how much more complex it was, and I suppose he began to realize how much more complex it was. But he's never indicated. Every once in a while, he'll say something like, maybe it'll go 100 years or even 1,000 years. And the last time I quoted that, he got kind of mad that I had quoted it, that he had never said it that way. My sense is that the only comment that we have to work on is that comment that he made about the Rosetta Stone, where he remarked on the Rosetta Stone, and he said, don't you think that guy is really proud of the fact that it was found 2,000 years later and that it had this impact? So, my theory is based on the Achilles theory. Achilles wanted his name to last forever, and so in history and mythology it has. And we all want our names to last as long as they can. Some of us just have children, and those children have children, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you hope that they remember you, but another way to do it is by doing something that is memorable. And this is obviously memorable. So I don't know that you do something like this and not hope that it lasts 1,000 years, that in 1,000 years, assuming we survive that period as a race, that people are still looking for the Fenn treasure. How cool would that be? So... but we don't. I don't know that he's ever said anything specifically that would indicate one way or the other. I don't recall it. Maybe somebody else does. Alberta Searcher. Hey, Alberta Searcher. Dang nabbit, you have to watch Wednesday's show.
No, it was earlier today.
Was it?
The 1 o'clock show, yeah.
Where was the woman wanted to get in touch with Alberta
Yeah,
Searcher?
wasn't it in the comments too?
Yeah.
I think the person wrote in the comments.
Yeah, but
as
when
well.
she wrote an email, when did we read the email?
Today.
Was that was it?
Yes.
All right. So Alberta Searcher, there's a woman.
No, wait. Couldn't have been today. Right?
No,
'Cause we
that's
don't
what I'm
eat-
saying.
Oh, yeah. It was Wednesday then.
Wednesday night, on our Wednesday night show,
guess
watched
that was
last
it.
Wednesday night's show, and we read an email from a woman who wants to get in touch with you. and we don't know why, and we don't exactly know the definition of in touch. But watch that show, and if you send me an email to gypsyskiss@gmail.com, you'll see it up here. I will forward that email, if you want to get in touch with her. I will forward that email to her, and you guys can, do stuff. Okay. This says Texas. I always want to say Shad, but that's not what it is. Texas H. Sad. Any idea where Forrest is speaking of when he mentions the big picture? Yeah, don't we all? So the time that he used the big picture, he's looking, I think he's referring to how we see the poem. You have to look at the big picture as opposed to narrowing it down, And at the same time, of course, he's and another time he said, you're not looking at the big picture, but another time he says you're being too specific, or it gives contradictory information. But it's not a place. It is a reference to the approach that we're taking to analyzing the poem. You need to look at the big picture when you're analyzing the poem. What's the matter?
I just feel like you have more chat than I do. My chat doesn't seem to match yours.
What?
Oh, like you have more stuff.
Oh, look at the top. And
Yeah, but you're doing top chat too.
Oh, am I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no. Never mind. Did you have any other questions that we highlighted? Or should we move on
Fubar,
to...
Mr. T, you're the fellow. That's a comment. Let's see. So we asked the pendant, can they get it?
All right.
All right.
I think we can go on to...
So we can go to text messages. All right. If we missed any of your questions in the chat room, please don't take offense. Just send them either in a text message so that we can see them, because these things are going by us at a mile a minute, for lack of a better way to
We
describe
have a text video too.
And we do have a text video. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Here come the texts. It's text time. And that number for texting is 866-597-9901.
That's 866-597-9901.
And let's see what we have in the text bucket.
Okay, in the text bucket. Oh my God, we got a whole bunch of. So we got a couple of voicemails, and they look like they're from Treasure Hunter Joe. So he's got that bass voice. Let's see. So let's play them, see what they sound like, and then we'll decide what we want to do with them.
All right.
So this one.
Hey, Toby. Well, I continue to watch the rest of the show, and a guy keyed up and said that he worked at Berkeley Pit and that chest is not there. Now, if nobody knows where the chest is, how can they tell you where it's not? That's just a question. And I really look forward to your next show so we can talk some more, because I enjoyed that. Good conversation, my friend. Thank you.
That was very nice. Okay, second one.
Jason Hamilton wants to know, do you think there are anagrams in the poem? I don't. Do you?
I don't. Sassy does, though. I think Sassy does, right? She thinks they're ciphers. I don't know if she said anagrams specifically.
Yeah.
If you want to see somebody, there's a guy that hangs out in the forums, and his name, and it's a he, but his name is Anna, Anna Graham, and he's a big believer in the anagrams in the poem. So, okay, another one from Joe Treasure Hunter.
Of course, I don't believe it, but I write them back and say, "Well, congratulations." I said, "Will you sell me my bracelet back?" And they say, "What bracelet?" And this one.
Well, he's recorded copyrighted material. So that Joe Treasure Hunter made a
Forrest Fenn's
recording.
voice, for those of you who don't know.
Forrest Fenn from my Moby Dickens video. So I'm not sure what his point is, but we don't need to play that. Okay, so he says, you may want to listen to that last voicemail I left to see that I was forced on to... Oh, well, this is a voicemail. Look at it. Doesn't translate it because of his...
You might want to listen to that last voicemail I left you. See, that was Forrest Fenn talking. And maybe this time, pay attention.
So he was talking about it. It was that point in the Moby Dickens video where he's talking about the turquoise bracelet and White like it back. Then Joe says some people lack the intelligence to do the things on their own, and they have to be shown. I changed hard drives right after that shutdown. Ooh, changed hard drives. Serious stuff. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is one of those that says, please listen to it. So this is from 505. Remember that if you're texting us, sending us a text message, or if you're leaving us a voicemail, in the text message, at least say your first name and what state you're living in. The same in the voicemail. Do not leave your phone number, because I'm going to play it here, and we don't want to share that with the world, right?
Want to why I haven't sent her band is a good question. Ways it has. I'll see.
Okay,
That was a really bad connection.
No, that was an alien, is what it sounded like. Okay. Luke Martinez says, as I have gone alone in there, and Fenn mentions the blaze is white. Is this a white rock cave? We don't know. Luke, I'm sorry.
He never definitively said the blaze was white. People said...
people interpreted things that he said.
Asked him questions about blazes, and he said blazes. Usually a white mark on a horse's face, and he mentioned white mark. So
happy Friday and cheers, Shelley and Toby. Could you please describe Forrest's overall health and physical fitness around the time he hid the chest? Dave.
He was 80 years old. He had one kidney. He's 8 years older now, and
so when he hid the chest, describe
when he hid the chest. I would say he would have the stamina of a 5-year-old, pretty much. So if your 5-year-old gets tired, he would have gotten tired. I think he would have struggled to have carried 20 pounds of chest and or treasure a very far distance. And he couldn't even do it with 40 pounds, which is why he made 2 trips. So that might tell you a little bit about how much he could carry or how much he thought was safe to carry. He was alone when he did it. He was 80 years old, and he didn't want to hurt himself or take a risk of hurting himself, because then all his plans would have gone up in smoke for hiding it in his special place, because he would have had help to get out of there and get home.
So I'm 70, and I think of myself as in pretty good physical condition. I think he was in relatively good physical condition. He had a bout with cancer. He had lost one of his kidneys. He's 80 years old, and he's smart enough to know that he can't carry 40 pounds in one trip. He has to make 2 trips with 20 pounds each. Now, the effect of that energy-wise is precisely the same, physiologically the same, but that's how he decided to do it. And he had to do it in a place where, because he was alone, he couldn't injure himself. Because if he had injured himself, several things would have happened. Number one, it's so remote, the location is so remote that he's made it, that he may not have been found. He'd be lost. And then people would come looking for him. And then the whole plan to hide the treasure would have been blown, because they would have asked him what he was out there, assuming that somebody, you get the sense he didn't tell anybody where he was going. When I go someplace, when I go up into the mountains and I go alone, I not only tell somebody where I'm going, my daughter usually, but I take an inReach GPS communicator with me, a satellite communicator, so that if something does happen to me, I can at least reach out and let somebody know, regardless of where I am, that something has happened to me. In addition to that, I have a policy that would pay for a helicopter ride from wherever I am to the nearest hospital. So as you get older, you start looking at yourself from the context of what am I capable of doing. I am not the person that at 43, I climbed 38 of the 52 14ers in Colorado. I don't think I could do that today. Could I hike up in the Rio de los Pinos and do it comfortably? Yeah, but I get tired. By the afternoon, I'm ready to get back to the car and sit down. So he wasn't, we're not talking about a man 80 years old who was just a variation of Jack LaLanne at 80, right? He was a normal, active, healthy, moderately weighted. He was an ectomorphic, if not mesomorphic, body type. So I would say just the next time you see a gentleman walking down the street, do what I do. I ask him how old he is. And if he's 80, I put that into the context of my research. So, but I know what it feels like to be 70, and it ain't as fun.
And Shiloh loves his grandpa.
Yeah.
And would always say nice things about him, like he could walk circles around me. He wouldn't come out and say, "Oh, he can't do anything." He wouldn't do that.
Okay, so I have emailed Fenn again. We don't know who this is from. It's a 503 area code. What's that, 503?
I don't know.
I have emailed Fenn regarding the guy from... Didn't I read this afternoon?
I don't know.
I've emailed Fenn regarding the guy from Australia who says he found the location of the treasure and then the treasure mysteriously disappeared. That was Glenn Coughlin. Maybe the treasure has been found and Fenn knows that it has been found. I have not heard back from him. I guess he's written Fenn to ask him if the treasure... Glenn Coughlin is the person's name in Australia that claims to have solved the poem. My question to you both is, would Fenn even know if it was found? And if so, how would he know? Ted in Salem, Oregon. You want to take that? Ooh, ouch, excuse me.
How would he know if it was found? Well, because he contends that whoever finds the treasure would not be able to be quiet about finding it, because they would have put a lot of work and effort and time into finding it, and they would want the world to know, see, you laughed at me and I found it, ha ha. So he counts on that, is what he tells us. Sherry has a theory that it is not far from him, or somewhere that he goes, or somewhere that a friend of his goes frequently, because that is a commonality in many treasure hunts, and that's how he would know if it was found. We don't know exactly for sure how we would know, other than we would assume that whoever finds it would be responsible enough to let the media know it had been found and provide proof of that so that nobody else would get hurt looking for it.
Fenn is going to count that the searcher lets him know that the treasure has been found so that the treasure hunt could stop. There is very likely no other way that he's going to know it. And you have to consider that he considered that he might one day pass away before the treasure is found. So it's not even necessary for him to know it, right? Who do you tell at that point? You tell the media. If you so choose, you make that decision yourself. So it is very likely that Forrest, like us, the only way he's going to know if the treasure's been found is if the finder decides that he wants to let him know. Hello, Toby. It's Illinois Ghost. Hi, Rick. The poem says, as I have gone alone, but Forrest says not to search in the mountains alone. What's your thoughts on this? Well, we know how he hid the treasure. We know it is very likely that his special place was special place to him alone, so he had been there more than once. I don't think it's a good idea for inexperienced people to search alone, but I'm comfortable in the mountains and I do everything I can to protect myself. So I feel like as long as a single individual has gone out of their way to ensure that somebody knows where they are and they have a way to get help should something happen to them, I have no problems with people searching alone. On the other hand, if you're not experienced in the Rocky Mountains, if you're a flatlander and this is going to be your first trip here, I strongly recommend that you don't do it alone, that you go with someone who has more experience, or at least someone who can help you or get help if something happens to one of you, because things are going to happen. We've lost searchers to this search because not only did they do things that they probably shouldn't have done, but there was nobody around to help them. So I don't have a problem. Rick, I know you've spent enough time in the mountains to be comfortable in the mountains alone. And I'm sure that there's lots of searchers that are in this room right now that are comfortable going in alone. But you always have to go in with the idea that something could happen. And what have you put in place to make sure that whatever happens is alleviated, is so you can reconcile the situation. So I don't have a problem going in alone. As a matter of fact, I spend a lot of time in the mountains alone, if not looking for treasure, shooting drone shots, fishing, etc., etc. I would say that 90% of the time that I've spent in the mountains or in nature has been alone. When Shelley and Kevin go along, that's different, or when Jason, but most of the time I'm alone. I like the peace of it, being alone. Do you want to take care of
Alan K, $9.99. For $9.99, he says, Fenn was 58 when he decided where he was going to hide the chest. He thought he only had a few months or years to live, and his dad went fishing in Montana after he was given a few months to live.
Thank you, Alan. That's a good analysis.
Texas Sad says, do you think the map colors are well defined on the map? Was the Rio Grande area in New Mexico colored in?
Wow. So a couple of things. The majority of the Rio Grande is in either National Forest or BLM land. The colors weren't very well. They looked like they were airbrushed in, so that's not going to get you any precision. But it doesn't make any difference because Fenn told us that the treasure was not it was not in the Rio Grande. He said, as a matter of fact, his reference point was the Rio Grande. He said the Rio Grande's not even in the Rocky Mountains, and technically it's not in the Rocky Mountains. It's in the Rio Grande Rift. So, which is a rift in the Rocky Mountains. All okay. Right. Back to thank you for that question, Rick. That was very nice of you. Okay, I will be added to the list. Casey from Idaho with a K, Kasey from Idaho.
You took my pen.
Oh, sorry. Casey, tell us.
Do you have a month?
No, it's not on here. But Casey with a K.
K.
If you Casey with a K, Kasey.
Okay.
Casey from Idaho. Casey, if you have a month, let us know. We'll put you down for 1 month. Hi, Toby and Shelley. Ange from PA. Do the people who think they know where the chest is have a water crossing? Oh, we don't know. We have a water crossing. That's the only thing we could say. We think we did a video on it, as a matter of fact, way back when. You'll have to look for it. But we hypothesized that there was a water crossing written into the poem. But we don't know. We don't know other folks. I mean, we don't know enough about other people's solutions theories to know whether or not there's a water crossing. This is from area code 719, and his name is AW. There's a clue in all three books that points to Wyoming. I haven't heard anyone mention it or notice it. Thanks, AW. Well, AW, see, you're ahead of everybody else on that whole Wyoming thing, so two people can keep a secret and all that. Hello from Boston, Massachusetts. I have been enjoying your streams and videos. I am fairly new to the search and have noticed in my research that the first stanza is mostly ignored by many people. I feel this is a mistake, as without it you cannot know where warm waters halt. I would like to hear your opinion on this. Keep up the good work. Would you like to address that?
If you'd like to share with us in what way it helps you narrow down where warm waters halt, then we are happy to listen.
Yeah. So our perception of the first stanza is that it establishes precedence and ownership, so that when somebody did find it, they could, Fenn could say, I owned it, I hid it, etc., etc. The first clue is where warm waters halt, and one would like to think that there is something in the first stanza that would indicate where the starting point for warm waters halt is, but I can tell you from our personal experience, we haven't found it. Yeah, we if you have it and care to share it, you're welcome to do that, but and we can't say to you that nobody else has come up with it, because nobody's ever mentioned it one way or the other. That's That's our solution.
Jay Scott says, finally, someone, Toby, points out the geological fact that the Rio Grande is a rift and not a canyon. Well researched.
Yeah, that's because I live here, and I did an interview with the guy that is the head ranger at Petroglyphs National Monument, and they make a big deal about it, and they have a video about it. Yeah.
They love their new movie.
Yeah, they love their new movie.
Have you seen our movie?
Yeah.
You need to see our movie. Go in the theater, and we're going to start it for you.
And we were the only 2 people in the theater, but it was a really good... 3. Kevin was with us,
that day.
yeah. But it was a really good movie. So,
Hey, Paul Wood, thanks for joining us.
Okay. I guess we're at a point where we are going to hear the same thoughts over and over. I liked the last show, talking about specific question. The investigator was great. Are you going to play the rooster for newbies? I really like Susie. I'd like to tell her. Could you give her my email? Both Susie. Look nice. Susie. Sherry?
Maybe it's me.
Susie. Oh.
If you knew Susie like I know Susie,
you would spell her name correct.
Oh, what a gal.
Tony Rusi from Washington. Has Forrest Fenn ever announced that the search season is open? If so, what was the dates? No.
Sorry, what? I was reading another question.
I know. I'm going to handle this. No, Forrest has never said. He says, don't go out there when it's still snowing or there's mud on the ground. Be wise about when you go out. Around our area, it doesn't start getting interesting and passable until early May, sometimes late May, but it depends on the area itself. So don't do anything. Don't do any. I'm going to play in Safety Squirrel. Safety Squirrel.
It starts with an S, a Safety Squirrel.
Right there. So pay attention to Safety Squirrel. Be safe, guys.
This is from, Jungle Cruiser. How would we know the first clue for sure if Forrest hadn't pointed it out? We wouldn't. We would still be debating it. And we were debating it until that radio interview was, released to the public in a very public way by, I don't know, I think it was a YouTube channel back in May of 2017, June of 2017.
Yeah. So, no, we would have never known that, and it is very likely.
We were still arguing it until then.
Right. And that radio show was done, I don't know, 3 years before we released it, 3 or 4 years before
we didn't release
it.
We, somebody mentioned it to us, and then we just announced it. Hey, everybody, look at this. So, World Famous Gamer says 9 clues have to do with the number 9.
World Famous Gamer, hot on the trail, brother. Jamie from Illinois. Not so much a question, but more of a what if, and that what if is. This is a hell of a sentence. Okay, not so much a question, but more of a what if. And that what if is, what if the 200-foot searcher comment was a hint for us, seeing as that's a rule of thumb when camping, you be 200 feet from trails to set up camp, or 70 large steps. No. Well, it could very well indicate that the person was on some kind of human trail, and on that human trail was within 200 feet of where the treasure, but if I remember correctly, that particular treasure hunter, the 200-footer as we like to refer to him, was there with intent that he was actually looking for the treasure. I've never heard anybody refer to it as the 200 feet from trails to set up camp. It's certainly not a rule.
Says, refresh my mind. What did Fenn say about being able to see the chest from Google Earth? I believe he said you can't. Is that correct? He said Google Earth didn't go down that far. Right. So you wouldn't be able to see it.
You wouldn't be able to see it from Google Earth, which is why we take a drone with us. Area code 940. Come on, guys. Give me some names and locations here. I don't know where area code 940 is. Question for Shelley. I'm just making sure it's not
something sexual.
Yeah. If you found the trove, I assume meaning the treasure, what would be your next process?
I go, Toby, look, because he'd be there too.
Toby, come and pick this up and put this in your backpack. So talk a little bit about process. Go ahead. I'm okay with it.
Process.
Yeah, if we found the treasure, what would we do?
Well, if we found the treasure, we would be very excited, and then we would, Kevin would probably be there as well, and we'd put it in his backpack, and we'd take it home, and then we'd put it in a safe deposit box.
Inventory. We'd inventory it.
Yeah, we'd
Take
take
photographs.
pictures. We'd send a picture to the media to let them know it had indeed been found, and then we would go from there. We'd probably try to auction it off at Sotheby's. That's our current idea. So
Yeah.
I don't think that'll probably change.
Yeah. We might auction off the solution on eBay. So we've had some other thoughts about it, but the plan was to inform the media anonymously that it had been recovered, and then, if necessary, at that point they would let Fenn know, and then we would start negotiating with Sotheby's and the IRS to monetize it as quickly as possible.
John Ito wants to know, can you use the screen in the back for pictures, like a PowerPoint?
Yeah, you mean this screen here? Yes, we could if we wanted to.
It would be... Would we be able to change the picture?
Yeah, we would have to use that same PDF style
But the
that we
problem
did.
is we're sitting in front of it, so
Yeah.
you guys couldn't see it very well.
Yeah, we could do that.
Toby took this picture.
The very large array. That's the Plains of San Agustin in east of Socorro, New Mexico, and that's the very large array. One of the sites that recently discovered the black hole that we talked about in one of our shows. How cool is that?
CMC says, first clue of the poem is wear warm water salt, but that doesn't mean it's the first clue you use.
Oh, so Joe Treasure Hunter says, the video is on YouTube for any one of you. I'm sorry your voicemail recorded it. Joe Treasure Hunter, it's our video. So when I say it's copyrighted, we were just making fun. We did that video and we have the copyright, so you guys can do whatever you want with it. Don't put it on. Do not put it on your YouTube.
Don't try to make money off of it, because
don't. We had a couple of people just.
we can't even do that.
Right. Oh, maybe it was, as Candy says, Susie Hecky for Susie.
But she wasn't on the show.
No, but maybe it doesn't need to be on the show. Maybe the guy just wants her email address.
I don't know.
So she has a YouTube channel. Susie has a YouTube channel.
Who's your sisters?
Who's what?
The Hoosiers? Oh, no, she's the one from
Susie, they're from
north.
Indiana.
That's right.
Susie is from Minnesota. Well, she's from
That's
up north.
right.
She's from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
And she has a new Susie Fennhaven is
That's
her
right.
YouTube channel. Wow, I just got
Jamie
3 text
Rodriguez.
messages.
It seems that stanza 2 takes you to the location and the rest of the stanzas explain the area along with other information. What do you think? We think the poem is a sandwich.
Yeah, go back through our YouTube videos and do a search on sandwich, and it explains what we think the poem is, like in that cram. So this is Brian Heckman from Alaska. I would like to share my solve the revised version of Once Upon a While is basically a map of San Antonio hot springs. The end of the fishing line is a hook, and a fishing line is hooked or connected to a star, San Antonio campgrounds. The other stars are campgrounds in the area. I can go further into clues if necessary. Unless you have a specific reason for sharing your solution, your theory, Brian, I wouldn't recommend you do it because we're going to read it and everybody else is going to listen to it. But you can't tell me which San Antonio campgrounds. Does anybody know where San Antonio campgrounds is? I'm not familiar with it. Oh, you know what? It's up there in Carson, right below where we search. That's got the San Antonio campgrounds in it.
Oh,
I think.
alrighty then. I don't know.
Wow.
Texas Sad says 500, 200 vertical versus horizontal. Which do you think it is? I think it's horizontal.
500, 200. The 500 is the 500. I think. Well, I think the 200 is relatively flat. I think the 500 could be at some angle of vertical. So guys, if you don't tell me your name and where you're writing from, I'm not going to read your text message because it doesn't. So if you don't own the rights to it, I do own the rights to it. It's the video, the Home of Browns video is on our YouTube channel. It was recorded by me. The reason I didn't play it through is because I heard it. I don't need anybody to play it for me. That's why. Somebody says we'll play money for subscription to Sassy Cypher, but they didn't say who they are, so I don't know. Somebody, oops, Mike from Maine. What did Fenn say about seeing people get within 200 feet? Mike's Fenn said that someone who was searching for the treasure had been within 200 feet. It occurred early on in the treasure process, and he knew the person personally. So, okay, ready to open up the phone lines? Do we have any more questions from the room before I open those?
One more.
What?
Jamie Rodriguez, with Fenn saying so much to get family and kids out there, don't you think it's logical that your starting point would be where you would set up camp? Sure. It's more logical than an acid pit.
So remember he said he parked and he walked from wherever he parked. I don't think it was a parking lot. To where he was hiding the treasure, the chest and then the treasure. So is it possible that you could camp there with your family and then go looking for the treasure? He said you're not going to find it on a spring break. You're not going to find it on a picnic or a spring break. So maybe it does require camping. We've, last summer when we were at Rio de los Pinos, we spent a total of 12 days at the Rio de los Pinos. Now, the spot that we were searching from, you could camp there, but it is what they call...
dry camping.
Dry camping, yeah. You have to take everything in and you have to take everything out, and there are no facilities of any kind. So, yeah, you could do that, but it is unlikely that you're going to be at a campground that has facilities, a National Park Service thing like that. The area is very likely remote, because that's what I would want if I was going to hide a treasure in my special place. Okay. Let's open up the phone lines and we can have fun with phone calls.
Fun with phone calls.
Fun with phone calls.
Marty Bird says, have you ever contacted Douglas Preston to come on your show? I think he would be a good guest.
Yes, we wrote him. He didn't respond.
We tried.
I think it would be a good guest, but...
Do we have an Open the Phone Lines video?
We do have an Open the Phone Lines video.
Hello?
Who's there? I'm talking. Hello?
Hello. Who is this?
You know what this is.
Boom.
All those
phone lines are open.
With cords, even a payphone.
Just
really
like
retro stuff
just
going
like
on there.
the olden days when we really had phones that meant something.
When you get slammed when you
get
mad
slammed down.
hang up.
That's when you slam down your smartphone
Ching.
now, and you're going to have to buy a new smartphone.
Yeah.
Phone lines are open if you have a question or a comment you'd like to make, and hold it to within a
They
reasonable
were a
time.
lot tougher back then.
Yeah.
It wasn't like drop it onto carpet. Oh, it's broken now.
Yeah.
Oh, that $1,000 phone, it's broken now.
You could throw, I remember throwing phones across the room and them still working.
No wonder your kids are afraid of you.
They're not afraid of me. My
So
kids
you're always
aren't
on the
afraid.
phone yelling at people.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't even talk about you throwing the phone.
It was really funny because when we went out for my birthday, Shelley had the opportunity to meet all three of my daughters, and so they had this moment where they were all telling stories about me. And they said, yeah, we used to get really scared because he just spent a lot of time on the phone yelling at people. And it was because I was working as a contractor to the government, and sometimes you had to make a point. So sometimes
you had to be passionate.
You had to be passionate. You had to believe in what you were saying. Phone lines are open. I promise not to yell at you. Here we go. First call of the night. And hey, you've reached Toby and Shelley at A Gypsy's Kiss. What a wonderful name. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question, if you have one?
It's Joe Treasure Hunter.
Joe Treasure Hunter. Hey. So
how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you? What do you got for us?
I'm doing all right. Well, I've got some information that's related directly to this hunt.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it at first until I started actually getting into this hunt because I had heard this story before from my grandfather.
Oh.
And I'd never heard it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all my research, and I run across it.
Okay, enough of the preamble. Tell us the story here, brother. Tell us the story.
Love it.
Tell us the story.
Okay. My grandfather told me a story about his father. Well, actually, his grandfather's friend. And his friend was a night watchman.
You're going to have to turn off your... Yeah, I'm listening, but you're going to have to turn off your computer because it's creating an echo.
Okay. Hold on, let me get in a better spot.
Mute.
Yeah.
So my grandfather tells me this story about this night watchman. And this night watchman, he didn't really like who he was working for. He got an offer from another company to go work for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the deal was to do something that wasn't legal. And the deal was he would get $500 and a guaranteed job.
If he broke the law.
Company.
If he broke the law.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
Now, that's what happened.
All right.
And he did this, and he was injured, and it was a very bad situation what happened. And at the end of that, he wound up getting $1,500.
For what?
And he wound up, because he actually did what he was asked to do.
Mm-hmm. And so they paid him extra.
Yes, they paid him $1,500, and he was guaranteed a job. Well, he got that $1,500. He never got that job. And he wound up getting into an argument with the person that promised him that job and wouldn't give it to him. And he wound up shooting him twice.
Wait, who ended up shooting who?
And that has...
The guy with the $1,500 or the guy that didn't give him the job? Who did the shooting?
The guy that paid him the $1,500 and didn't give him the job.
And so he...
And he shot him right there in his own bank.
Oh, wow.
And who I'm talking about is Thomas Riley and Patrick Lardy. Now, Thomas Riley, he moved away. He ran to Oklahoma. That's where he met my father.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my grandfather's father is where he met him. And he changed his name. I know what his name is. I know what he changed it to. And I'd never heard that story again until I started investigating this Forrest Fenn treasure hunt.
So what's the connection? What's the connection?
The hair up on my head. It turned my skin inside out because I'd never heard it anywhere else before.
Right. So what's the connection? Let me interrupt for just a sec. So what's the connection between that story and the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt?
Well, only Forrest Fenn knows that.
Oh, okay.
And that was absolutely for him. I did that. And I'll tell him what he changed his name to. Mm-hmm. But we'll get to that later. That's really all I have to say tonight.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. You always have an interesting story to tell, and we really appreciate it. You have a good rest of the night.
Thank you so much, Toby.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
You have a good evening. Phone lines are open. Call in if you have an interesting story. I think I did so that was the answered call. The text was just the gentleman that from 813 just said his name is Steve from Tampa, Florida. He's new to our show, so he didn't know he was supposed to give us his name. So hi, Steve.
Oh.
Phone lines are open. Call us, give us a story, tell us what you want, ask a question. Because we love when questions are asked because we've already answered them a bunch of times.
Or just call up and tell us where the treasure is.
That would be nice. Just tell us where you think the treasure is, or tell us if you're going to call us and let us know if. Here we go. Let's see who we got here. Hey, you've reached Shelley and Toby on A Gypsy's Kiss. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question?
Hi, this is Candy.
Hey, Candy.
And my question... Hi, honey. You look so cute. You
Thank
guys
you.
look really nice, both of you. You're matching.
Thank you. That's a second...
Anyway,
Go ahead.
my question is, how do the wives put up with all this? All the time and money their husbands spend on this? That's my question.
All right. You want to take it offline? We'll get an answer for you? Or you want to discuss it?
No, either way, go ahead, discuss it. No, I'd like to hear.
So our opinion, one of the reasons we think, and it's not just wives. I'm sure there are female searchers who... Copper. We know Copper has not, her husband is not interested in the search. So I think it goes for married couples when, and my friend life coach here, you're a life coach, you explain it.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, it's like any other hobby, though. There are a lot of golf widows, boat widows. There's a lot of people in relationships, including Peggy Fenn, who have to put up with their husband having hobbies and things that take them away from the home. The best way to put up with that is to have a life of your own, to have hobbies of your own. And if it's a money issue, then you both need to sit down and work on a budget together and say, you know, this is how much you can spend on your hobby, and I will spend that much on my hobby. Or, you know, you work it out together as a couple. So I think that's the answer I would have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, there are at least 3 classic cases of money spending related to the treasure and resulting divorces, and it was not healthy for any of those families. I think the advice that Shelley gives to have a life of your own until it starts getting into your income, and that's when you have a conversation together and make sure that there's something realistic going on. I have the benefit of not having having to respond to someone for this, but Shelley has a husband, and the way that Shelley handled it, if you don't mind me telling the story, is when he just got involved. He became part of it, and he discovered that it was as much fun for him as anything else he was doing, and he learned how to fly fish. So if you can't get the other partner involved, then at least have your own things that are important to you until they start spending money. And I think the spending money thing, the conversations that you have at the kitchen table, generally speaking, are about one of 2 subjects. One of them is money. And that's where you have to have this conversation. Otherwise, it's going to result in conflict, and conflict results in divorce. And
we had a couple of weeks ago. We had an email from somebody who said.
Thanks for the advice.
Wait, hang on just a second.
A couple of weeks ago, we had an email from somebody who said that he was excited about looking for the treasure, but his wife and his son and daughter-in-law weren't into the treasure, but they were going to travel with him just to make sure he was safe. And they wanted to do other things while he looked for the treasure. So they made a family event out of it. So this is another way to incorporate family and friends into what you're doing.
I think it involves conversation. One of the things that we discovered about having the YouTube channel that we have, along with the chat room, is this is an opportunity a couple of times a week to come in and talk all you want with other searchers who are searching for the treasure, and kind of get that out of your system, and then go back to the life that you're responsible for with your spouse and your children, if you have children. Use up all that Fenn energy in the chat room, and then do whatever research you have to do, but make sure that your family comes first. And I'm sure in my own mind, I believe that's the way that Fenn would want it. I can't imagine that Fenn ever considered the possibility that people would get divorces over the Fenn treasure hunt. I can't imagine that would be something that he would believe was possible. And I can't imagine that it would be anything that would make him happy. He's the guy that was married to the same woman for, 50, 60 years. So I'm sure he doesn't want his treasure. He doesn't want his treasure to hurt people. He doesn't want people dying. He doesn't want people getting divorces. He doesn't want people being unhappy. He wants you to have fun and find the treasure and have more fun. So come here and get all that energy out of your system. You still there? Candy?
She put the phone down and walked away. Like, you guys are talking too much.
That guy just goes on forever.
Hey, Virginia Man says, do you guys consider the Sangre de Cristo mountains and sub-ranges part of the Rockies?
Yeah, but the point at which you're in the Sangre de Cristos, they are, as far as a matter of fact, geologically speaking, they're considered part of the Rockies. There's a name. What was the phrase that he used? Because that's what they refer to. Sub-range.
Sub-range.
They are considered a sub-range of the Rockies, but if you're looking at the Sangre de Cristos, number one, they're overly populated, and number two, you're kind of not in the treasure hunt area. So yeah, and it's not that we consider it. That's just how the mapping agencies see them. The geology is there. Mark from Boston says sorry about that. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get. I hope I wasn't. I hope I didn't sound like I was mad about you guys not leaving your name. Just call. We have fun. The idea is to have fun. Okay, phone lines are. Let's see. Ask Sassy if she has deciphered any more phrases from the Forrest Fenn poem. She's in the room. Is Sassy in the room?
I don't know.
Sassy, the folks want an update. So, Sassy, why don't you call in and we'll give the folks an update on your progress.
Gary Barber says, when did you first search Wolf Creek, Rio Chama area in New Mexico?
That was 2013, and I'm not sure it was necessarily Wolf Creek. I started at the El Vado Dam, which was where the warm waters halted. Later on, Fenn said it wasn't associated with a dam, and I went downriver from that. The put-in was the put-in at Cooper's Ranch. The No Place for the Meek was the suspension bridge that crosses the river, and then you are into this very slim area that's between locations that belong to the Jicarilla Apache tribe. Jicarilla, is that right? Jicarilla Apache tribe, but it's BLM land once you cross that suspension bridge. So here's Sassy. Let's get an update. Hey, Sassy. Sassy, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, good. So everybody in the room wants an update on your progress on figuring out this poem and telling us where the treasure is.
Well, I got the second line done, and it's more Ovaltine. Basically, the story that he tells about how he, drove as far as he could, and then he had to get out of his car, and then he had to walk 20 minutes in and hide it, and then walk 20 minutes back, and he did that twice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first part says that he had to carry it. The first line that I deciphered was about carrying it in, and then the second line says a car can't go there in the end. So it's the two lines, and that's it. That's all there is to it. It's just more of the same story. So, yeah, hugely disappointed. But
so let me ask a couple of questions, and I'll give you time to answer them. So, are you still finding ciphers in the poem?
No, there was never any ciphers in the poem. The ciphers are in the book.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Do you feel so? And again, you don't have to answer any of these questions. I'm just trying to get clarification. Do you feel like the ciphers in the book have helped you to better understand the poem?
No.
No? Oh.
No. I'm disappointed, but there's a word. I'll be a little bit freer with what this is, because now I just know it's Ovaltine. There's a word in the poem that leads you to go look for some particular feature in the book.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 4 places in the text of the book that this feature is there. It's something that you would think, your mind psychologically thinks, all of the first paragraphs of the chapter start off this way, but they don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's 2 places where the chapter paragraphs start off with this feature. Out of all of the paragraphs in the book, there's only 2. And then there's 2 other places where this same feature occurs just in the general text. And those are the directions that tell you how to do the cipher.
So real quickly, before I let you go, so this feature is in one of the paragraphs or is associated with the beginning of each chapter?
No, it's you would think it's associated. Your mind will trick you, and you think that it's how every chapter starts out that way, but it really only occurs twice in the book.
I see.
And then there's 2 other, and I assume it's one instruction for each one of the ciphers. 2 other places this particular feature is with very short instructions. And so,
So I'm getting some requests from the chat room, and they want you to explain the 20 minutes reference.
The 20.
That
Okay,
he walked each way.
There's a story somewhere, and I've seen it more than once.
Yeah.
It's an interview with Forrest, and he's describing, telling the whole story about hiding the treasure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember if it was 20 minutes or a half an hour or whatever he said.
Oh, okay.
He said
All right.
something about he had to park his car, and then it took him like 20 minutes or half an hour or whatever
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
to walk back to where he was hiding them.
Okay. All right.
And basically, these two sentences that I deciphered are just repeating that story.
Oh, all right.
In
Okay.
2 sentences.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in and giving us an update. Everybody was interested to hear what was going on. And as you make more progress, let me know, and we'll talk more about it. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sassy Sherry. Phone lines are open if you've, let's see, how much time? Oh, we got the whole half hour, man. We got enough time to
Yeah. So
partay.
whoever was trying to call us a few
Yeah,
minutes ago,
813.
try again.
Call again. The phone lines are open. I call twice, so. Yeah, call in. Phone lines are open. Anything happen in the room for us? Yeah, Yellowstoner, I agree with you. You know,
About what?
imagination. He says she has the most imagination. That's for sure. She does have a lot of imagination, and
And she solved another.
yeah, you got to
Treasure
give
hunt.
you got to give her some credibility.
She's
You
one
got
of
to
the
give
few
her.
people that has actual experience finding something.
Yeah,
Having worked through a treasure hunt. Her and Mike Gowling.
yeah,
Mike Gowling solved a treasure
yeah.
hunt.
Those are two people you'd want to listen to because they
Yeah.
both solved treasure hunts of the same style. But and Mike was, as I understand it, Mike was close to the whiskey breakfast tea and bourbon. Breakfast tea and bourbon.
breakfast tea and bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had some.
He's had a
input
lot of
on that.
practice on
Yeah.
those.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, maybe we can get an early Friday night here, and you can get home to your family.
Oh,
And I
well,
can keep.
that's-
Oh,
There's a call.
spoke too soon. Poor 803 waited too long. Hey, you've reached Shelley and Toby. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question or comment?
It's me, world famous gamer Jason from Michigan.
Hey, brother, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Love your y'all's channel.
Thank you. You're very kind.
I was wanting to talk about the number 9 because I was looking at the poem,
Yeah.
and I know I believe people were saying that I guess the poem purists say that it's the 9 sentences.
There is a debate over whether the 9 clues are actually the 9 full sentences in the poem. Yes.
Yeah, I think the number 9, and I'm about to share some stuff I've shared on my videos. I don't know how many people know this. It's like really mind-blowing. I looked up, because Forrest said there's 9 clues, and
Yeah.
he said there's a word that is key. And I think the word that is key is the word I, because it's the 9th letter in the alphabet, and it's used 36 times, and when you add 6 plus 3 equals 9.
Wow, look at that. Wow.
And it's like the only letter and word that's actually a word and a letter I've noticed.
The I.
Yeah, it's used 36 times, and it's the 9th letter in the alphabet, and it's the only one that's a word and a letter at the same time. All the others are just either letters or just words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's that's some pretty astute research. So how do you think that helps us understand the poem better?
I think it's about him, and somehow the number 9 is used because there's 9 sentences. The word treasures is 9 letters long, and when you look at, when you put it in the grid, you look at the 12th line, the 13th line, and the 14th line, it'll start just heavy loads. If you've been wise, look quickly down. The 9th letter of each of those lines is K-E-Y, key, going up.
Wow.
So I think that's that word key in the 9th column. have to
So,
deal
so
with.
you took the poem and put it into a matrix? Is that what you did?
Yeah, because architects work with grids a lot,
Yeah.
and he said he felt like an architect drawing the poem.
Yeah. Interesting. So I'm a big fan of that whole 36. I'm a big fan of that 369 theory. As a matter of fact, that nickel-plated coin, copper coin that I showed you guys the other day, that's my copper coin, and the number of the copper coin is 369. And I didn't actually purchase this one. I purchased another one. And Michael Hool, our friend in the room, M-E-H, actually had this this number copper coin, and he traded it with me because he knew I was fascinated with Fenn's fascination of 369. So how do you think you're going to use this, WFG?
So that's a good question, because I've analyzed this thing over and over, and I'm finding new things about it.
Mhm.
But he said, give it to a child, and I know that the way children think, children take you literally. When you tell them to do something, they don't think metaphorically or any other way. They do exactly what, good kids will do exactly what they're told. But I think the problem is people aren't taking Forrest Fenn literally. They're opening it up for private interpretation, and it's like, you got to take it literally. What he says,
Right,
you
yeah.
listen to everything he says. And on his interviews, he said he's stated that he said too much, and I believe strongly that he has said too much. He said a lot. When you look at the beginning where warm waters halt, you look at the W on warm, the 13th column, and you take the 3 on the right, and then you stop where waters is. You look at the 22 column. You take the 2 numbers on the right, it's 32 degrees. And when you look at the poem, it says it's not hot. It doesn't say like word for word left to right, but when you put it in the grid, the word not is spelled down.
So-
the word
so-
hot is spelled up. I think
WFG, this is hard for people to follow along as you're trying to explain it. I guess I have to ask you. I know you have a very prolific YouTube channel. Why don't you make a video?
He said he did already.
Oh, did you make a video on this? Did you
Yes,
say
actually,
that?
I explained it on the video.
All right. Well, do me a favor.
It's called
Do me a favor and send me an email with that link, and I'll add it to the chat room here, and that way people can go look at your video.
Or the comments.
yeah. Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, just send me that link. I'll keep an eye on my Gmail, and if you send that to me, I'll put it in the chat room right now so other people can share in the experience.
Yeah, I got one favor though. Can I explain what I believe about founding the blaze right quick? Make a lot of sense.
Real quick, let's go.
Okay, beginning where warm waters halt is 32 degrees, and when you go to found the blaze, the word found also means construct. He said he drew. So when you're drawing the blaze,
Yeah.
it's like you've constructed the blaze. I think that's what found the blaze
Oh,
means.
wow. You like that whole past tense thing, huh?
Yeah, each word has 2 different meanings, I think, and we just got to find the right meaning to help us solve the poem.
You had a conversation with Sassy. I think that's one of Sassy's theories as well.
Yeah.
All right,
I
sir.
thought I'd share that with y'all.
Yeah, no. I think that was very kind and thoughtful of you to do that. And if you send me that link via Gmail, I will add it to the chat room so other folks can share in it. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Our pleasure. You have a good evening.
You too. God bless y'all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So Matt Bear says, you're locked in on fishing regs as where warm waters halt. What about any other where warm waters halt out there? I tell you what, Matt Bear. Toby and I are going to create videos. Well, we'll do them live for you, but we'll put them together showing where we've looked and why we've looked there and why we stopped looking there. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea because it would answer a lot of these questions.
Yeah.
So we are locked into warm waters halt, with the New Mexico fishing regulations. There's several reasons. Number one, the only use of the phrase warm waters is in the New Mexico fishing regulations. You won't find that phrase used anyplace else. in any of the search states. You can look at their fishing regulations, but you can look at nobody uses that phrase. It's not a phrase in common usage anymore, except in the New Mexico fishing regulations. The second thing is it's precise. You can pinpoint with geographic six decimal geographic precision where that point exists on every river on which it exists. So with those two reasons alone, it's the only place warm waters are mentioned and you don't have to do any interpretation, and B, it's geographically precise. I don't know what else I would need to be able to believe that was the solution. And the fact that he's a fisherman and that he's lived in New Mexico since 1972 would imply that he was familiar with the New Mexico fishing regulations. So, I don't know. That's Huli says she loves this idea for a show. We're going to do that. We've decided that we're going to do.
And if anybody else would like to share places you've already looked and ruled out and want to share what your warm waters halt was, why you looked there, and any other clues that you also found, and then why you stopped looking there, what ruled it out for you, and you'd like to share that, then send us an email.
So S.J.Kent wants to put him down for June 5th.
Oh, even a whole day and everything.
Well, we had a June 6th. We had earlier today.
We're just going to write the month, June.
Okay,
so we won't hold you to it.
Yeah, we won't hold a specific
in case you
day.
go twice. Who was that? Kent?
S.J. Kent.
S.J. Kent. June. All right.
Okay. 813-615. You guys that have been trying to call, poor 813. 813, call in right now. I know he's tried 4 times. So if you call in while we're talking to somebody else, it'll just beep. You can't do it. Oh, by the way, somebody suggested that I turn off my call waiting. I went to look for the call waiting, turn off the call waiting feature. It's not on the latest version of the iOS. So if you know how to turn off call waiting on the latest version of iOS, let me know, because it's not there anymore. There is no call waiting button on iOS with that latest. The dates, William, the dates are for people saying when they're. We're starting a list of people saying when they're going to find the treasure. So if you think you're going to find the treasure this summer, you're welcome, WFG.
William, where the treasure is.
If you know where the treasure is,
we're going to go get it this summer.
Yeah, we'll add your name to the list, and that way,
or even in the spring.
In spring, some people have been specific about the dates they're going to find it. That's not necessary.
If you'd like to share a month that you'll
to
find
make the list, yeah,
that's fun too.
That's a good one.
Then we'll know when to check in with you for sure. Mr. T says, "Okay, all, I do know where it is at. I have had eyes on it. I have opened the lid. I have seen inside. I don't care if you believe me or not." Wow, he's had eyes on it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was remote viewing? Or?
So I don't know. I don't know if you had eyes on it, why you don't have it.
Open the lid.
You're not going to find it this summer, William? So it says it rules them out. Just say. If you think you're gonna find it this summer, we have a list. We have 1, 2, 3.
A big long list.
We have 13 people on the list already that think they're going to find it this summer. Huh? That believe, not think, believe they're going to find it this summer. What does Nate say? I think we should start a fund to hire George Clooney to do some remote viewing.
That's just a part he played in a movie.
Oh,
really do that
is that the men and goats? What is it?
Men Who Stare at Goats.
Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yeah.
Inbound call from 316-813. You missed it again. Hey, you've reached Shelley and Toby. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what's your question?
Danny, calling from the van.
You're in your van? Where are you going, Danny?
Headed home from Boots on the Ground.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. If you're headed Boots on. So Danny's Boots on the Ground. Are you going to find the treasure? Should we add your name to the list?
Do not add my name to that.
Okay, all right. Okay. So what you got for us?
I'm curious of how many boots on the ground do all these people that are getting added to that list?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, right now we have 13 people, but that, Fenn has suggested that there have been 350,000 boots on the ground searches. I think that number is a little high by probably an order of magnitude, but there's a lot of people looking for this treasure this summer, and there's a lot of people to believe they know where the treasure is and they expect to find it. So that's why we gave up.
Do you think that they've actually had boots on the ground, most of them?
You know what? It's hard to tell because we get a lot of, of the people that we talk to, I would say, I'm going to guess, and I think it's a low guess, 50% of the people that claim they know where the treasure is and are going to go get it this summer have never been boots on the ground.
Jason Dent's been boots on the ground, and he says, nothing ruins a good solution like boots on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
right. I've had 50 boots on the ground, and I've been wrong 50 times.
Yeah, that's how we are. I'm going to play the walk of shame because we have the same experience. That's an excuse to play the walk.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah, walk of shame, brother.
I did it today.
Yeah.
All right, well, hang on. We're done finished. Let me play this video, and then we'll come back. So yeah, I think it's important to go boots on the ground because every boots on the ground is a learning experience. You learn something new, and one of which is that the problem is much bigger than you originally expected. So, 50 boots on the ground is a lot. Do you live in one of the treasure states?
No.
No. So you
drive 12 hours one way.
Wow, that's heroic, brother. So can you share with us what states you've searched in? You've been boots on the ground? Colorado. Oh, always Colorado. Yeah. Do you ever run into John Bobbitt?
No.
Yeah. Well, Danny, we wish you success and we wish you safety. That 12-hour trip is a long trip to make. Are you headed home now? You finished this last boots on the ground?
Yeah, I'm headed home. But I think a requirement to get on that list is you got to tell how many boots on the ground you've had.
Yeah, they should have a number as opposed to, well, it's going to be even more interesting for the people that are on this list that had never been boots on the ground because we are going to hear back from them and they're going to call back and say, oh, that was a little bit bigger a problem than I thought it was. Yeah, exactly. So... Well, Danny, thanks for calling in. Drive safely, be safe, and we look forward to hearing from you when you get back to your family.
All right, have a good day.
Roger, thank you.
So our email is up on the crawl above us.
WFG, how could you not know that?
gypsyskiss@gmail.com.
You'll see it passing out. How come I can't?
And Sassy wants to know, do you want me to tell the keyword and explain the cipher?
Oh, God. You know what you can do, Sassy? Just put it in the chat room because that way it has that kind of permanence. So you're free, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're free to do whatever you want to do. You know how I feel about sharing information. So if you want to share information, please feel...
I think there's a lot of people who are interested, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. Tell them, give them something to work with. The more we have to work with, the more likely that this thing is going to be...
Yeah,
there's WFG.
Teach us what you know. I mean,
yeah,
that can only help.
Hang on a second. Let me get this thing from the WFG. Wow, we got a bunch of stuff ready for next Wednesday already.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Didn't want to do that. Hold on. Just give me a second. Copy link address. Okay. Here's WFG's matrix or grid. Poem grid video. I'm going to paste it right in here for the chat. There you go. Okay.
The keyword is
look at this
bold.
Refers to the bold-face type in the book. Damn, girl. You are just sharing everything, aren't you? Hey,
cool.
Let's see. Missed call.
Well, she's done what she can with it, so might as well share it.
That's what happened. That's what they did.
We
used to use an example this afternoon, Sassy, because we were talking about the difficulty or what was wrong with the Fenn poem, and the conclusion that we came to is what was wrong with the Fenn poem is that it wasn't like the David Blaine, where you knew what kind of progress you were making. with the David Blaine poem. So we talked about that a little bit. 813, try again. What can I say? He keeps calling while everybody's, or they keep calling. Candy, I guess that advice is okay. I am thinking about explaining that to a child. I guess what Candy was talking about. Yeah, I don't know how you could explain any of this to a child. You start explaining. Let me tell you my experience.
They get bored
with it.
pretty fast.
Yeah, with my experience with explaining the Fenn poem or anything about the Fenn treasure to a child is they get bored and they want to go do something else. This is not something that they're interested in, and they're going to go right back. I thought that we were grocery shopping today for the party tomorrow, and there was a couple, and they were pushing a cart, and it was one of those carts that had the little steering wheels and stuff, and there was a little boy sitting there, and he was looking down. He was like this. And I thought, oh, is he asleep or is he sad? And I passed by, and what he had, he was 2. He couldn't have been more than 2. And what he had was a little padded tablet in his hand, and he was looking straight down. And my thought, I didn't say this to the couple, but my reaction is, what did we do about kids in grocery stores before we had the iPads, you know? So I don't know if it's good or bad, but they don't. I've had conversations with a couple of my grandchildren who are above the age of reason, and their interest is like, why are you talking to me about this, you old man?
Sheila Draper wants to be headed.
Dang, well, go, Sheila. Way to go.
For June.
June. Sounds like a busy month. Hey, if you guys, we are planning a trip up north in June, not treasure related. We just want to go see Cody because, can I tell why Kevin wants to go up there?
Okay. Do you even know?
Yeah, doesn't it have to do with retirement?
Yeah, he wants to look around.
Yeah, Kevin's getting close to retirement, and he wants to look around at various areas to live in his retirement rather than Albuquerque. And he's researched Cody, and he likes the Cody solution. I mean the Cody as a solution to the retirement problem. And so we're going to go up there. Boom. We're going to go up and visit that area up there. Janice says, hey guys, my airfare is booked. Boots on the ground, 3rd week of June. Wow.
World Famous Gamer says, wrong video. Never mind.
You sent it to me. The hell, brother? S.J. Kent.
Tim and Holly are here. I love just north of Cody.
Davio, I'm not going to show that because we're not going to say that about children. So 813, phone lines are open again. Better do it now before somebody calls in. So, World Famous Gamer, no. Philip Hulquist, Boots on the Ground, May 15th. Lavender Blonde, the thrill of the attention much. I don't know who Lavender's talking to.
Cutest.
Read the comments.
Oh, Phil, you are going boots on the ground, but are you telling us that you know where the treasure is and you're going to find it?
Yeah.
Because I just was going to add you to the list, and then I realized you didn't say that.
No, he didn't say that. He just said he's going boots on the ground, which is a reasonable thing to do. I'm going boots on the ground. I don't expect to find the treasure, but I will learn more when I return. That's how it goes. 32 times. That's how it goes. Okay, so we...
Going to close the phone lines?
Yeah, we're going to close the phone lines, I think. Let's close the phone lines.
Maybe we should just take some time off from each other. It's not you, it's me, it's what I'm going through.
Now wait a minute, just hold on.
Bye-bye.
Is this a fake hang-up?
All right, Philip is not sure he knows where it's at, but it is his 3rd time going.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to take
that
his
experience.
name off the list because
That's what we like.
I'm not saying anything.
Gaining experience. Okay, so when will folks see us the next time?
Sorry, I was reading Jamie Rodriguez's comment. He says, Toby, you said you searched an area because the word meant ford when translated. Do you consider the part of a river that is called a ford? No. That if you heard what I said, my initial search on the Rio Chama started at El Vado Dam. Luis, you should know that the word El Vado is the word ford in English. And Jamie.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not
Rodriguez.
Luis. Jamie Rodriguez. So, Jamie, the phrase el vato is the Ford in Spanish, or in English, rather. And if you read Fenn's book, he had a Spanish teacher who he didn't much care for, but she tolerated him, whose name was Miss Ford. Get it? Ford, Miss Ford, el vato, damn.
Spanish.
And then the warm waters halted at that point. But then Fenn screwed everything up by saying, I'm sorry, didn't mean to say that. Fenn messed up my solution, my theory, because he said it was not associated with a dam. So I should go back and say exactly how he said that, because it's not associated with a dam.
Yeah. Clarification on
Clarification. We needed.
He did send the right video. He was saying that he was answering a question about today's video earlier, and he was talking about a different video, but no, he sent the right video. So.
Okay. So the video that I posted, I will
correct.
post it again right now, since it's in my... that's the correct video. That's World Famous Gamer's correct video on The Matrix.
Mitzi Moore says, first they came for my hints and I said nothing. Then they came for my blaze and I said nothing. Then they came for my booty and they got the bear spray.
Don't get close to my booty. I don't know. I've always thought about getting close to Mitzi's booty. What do you think?
What?
Nothing. Jason Northface says he's kidding. Again, didn't see what he was kidding about. So.
All right. So we have already received some emails, which we'll be reading next week.
Next Wednesday.
But Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we're going to share a past search that we did, and we're going to tell you why we searched there, what our warm waters halt was, or any other clues that were involved in that search, and then what told us to just stop searching there. Why did we stop?
Yeah. Do you want to start with mine and the Chama or Pilar?
Well, we're going to do all the ones we did in New Mexico. So
The ones that we did together?
No, all of the ones that you did.
Okay. So starting next Wednesday at 1 p.m., we're going to go through a series. Normally we have questions, but we've got a lot of requests for people asking us, what was this solve? What was this solve? Solution. Theory. So we're going to talk about each of our theories, what got us there, and what happened when we got there. The most pressing example of which is the John Dunn Bridge, because it was a great theory. And when we got there, it was, this is stupid. Why are we here? And it's a long drive from Albuquerque.
And if you have searches that you've given up on that you would like to share, you can call in after we talk about ours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. That's how we can use it. So next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, the first walk of shame explanation from A Gypsy's Kiss. And that way you guys can learn from her experience.
So 1 o'clock on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night will be another hump day hoedown. We'll have our emails,
We're going to be
texts,
humping.
voicemails, and live calls.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Let me start what are we doing, Gypsies tonight?
Yes.
Friday, Gypsies. And
thanks everybody for being here tonight for our Friday Fenndango. We appreciate you and all your questions and comments. For AGK Media, I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. And we do have a lot of fun, guys, and we hope you have as much fun as we do.
But every night all the men would come around and lay their money down.
And I'll look for some more Gypsy songs over the weekend.
Picked up a boy the south of Mobile, gave him a ride, filled him with a hot meal. I was 16, he was 21.